Hello everyone! Welcome back to some more Tyranny. It is time to head home to Vendrian's Well and I guess fend off Scarlet Chorus. They dare attack me directly. Like they can't even get up to the spire, like to the top of it, right? Well, I guess there are other people up there. Maybe that since I opened it, they can. Greetings, Fatebinder. The Iron Guard salutes you with a clattering salute. Our oath-bound scouts alerted us to a chorus assault on your spire, and Lord Ashen insisted we send aid at once. I've assembled a... The massive sculpture rumbles, shaking the masonry of the spire and sending her off balance. Okay. The orb in the center of the resonator spins with the push of some unseen force. Where the structure once exuded warmth, now it gives off a ferocious heat that singes your face the longer you stare into it. A sound like music swarms in the air around the structure, but it's painful and disharmonious to your ears. Shielding himself from the heat, Lantry has to shout above the discordant music. The energies of this place are swirling about you all alone. Can't you feel it? Can't you hear that damnable music? Do you feel anything different? The energy seems focused on you. Does it hurt? The spire is now fully awake. Its long dormant currents of energy dance to your presence. Crouching to the ground to steady yourself, Archon stays low to the ground until the trembling subsides. Feels like something is shaking the spire. The chorus can't pull off that sort of magic. What in Kairos' name is going on? Let's go with the second one. I don't suppose this magical spire of yours has some warding magic, or something of that ilk? She points down towards the chorus troops amassing below. Unshakable courage and superior training will only take us so far against that large a force. The spire resonates my voice. I'll shout to the valley that I have an edict from Kairos that should get them running. Perhaps not. Let's not lie about having an edict from Kairos. With an exasperated shrug, Archon drops her gaze to her feet. Whatever you're pondering, it had better work. Is that the only thing I can do here? Is shout that we have an edict? Or am I just... Would I have the power to actually create an edict? What could possibly go wrong? As you touch the stone structure, your sense of the moment slows, and you feel the entirety of the tears at your fingertips. The spire stands ready to channel your will. Issue a new one? What? Oh, shit. And this would use the power that we've accumulated? That one would be better, considering we have a focus in lightning. The Edict of Storms will generate a massive storm that covers huge areas of the world. The chaotic energy unleashed will cause random damage to strike your enemies during combat. What the... That's insane! We created edicts? Oh, there's not going to be happy people about this one. So, this tower creates edicts. Does that stand to mean that Kairos is in control of towers on the other side of the world as well? But Kairos has them written and others proclaim them. But I guess maybe this would give you the power to do such a thing. Oh man. I'm kind of excited to see what a sequel would be. Because, like, again, clearly I don't think we're seeing Kairos. Nothing outside the tiers is happening in this one. But man, I kind of want to see where this could go. Alright, Iron Marshal Aranios. What? Like, you're just throwing edicts at each other. You're like, oh, it's like a rap battle, but it's an edict battle. One on top of each of their towers. It's Saruman and Sauron, but yelling at each other. Oh my god. Remember, we do have that giant necklace that says, you know, Diamond and Crest that says Fatebinder, man. We will, rap gods. Alright, what in Graven Ash's name? The Iron Marshal turns about, taking in the view in all direction. But Kairos didn't give an edict to read, so how did... Glare Sana. Having broken the edict, I seem to be able to recreate it, if in a limited fashion. You did that? Her hand grasped for her chest, but only Kairos can cast an edict. And now that you've seen what I can do with your own eyes, you can tell others. Your voice carries the weight of the Overlord's magic. She dips into a bow. I should not have doubted you. That's right. Fear me, mortal. I'm the new Kairos. Call me Tokshen Yos. I'm working on the name, okay. The chorus have no idea what they've just walked into. The Iron Marshal smashes her gauntlets together with a quick chuckle. Binder, let us strike now. We must seize the moment and swing their panic into a rout. Hoisting her blade in hand, Aranios moves toward the exit. Fatebinder, I will get the carnage started. Join me when you are ready, and we'll deal with whatever rabble remains. Damn. Throwing out edicts like it's nothing. The hell? Well, let's, we already have the rested bonus. Let's get to it. So we're more powerful than an Archon is. Right? They can't create edicts. Yeah! Run, you filth! Oh, whoa. What is... Oh, is that voices? Oh, no. Death Knell. A gang of rain-soaked scarlet chorus trails behind Death Knell, a mixture of awe and confusion resting upon their faces. What foul trick are you playing such that the weather comes to your aid? I should thank you for separating the wheat from the chaff. The sight of seeing dozens struck down by lightning made a good show to startle the deadweights. She points back behind her shoulder, leaving the bravest with the privilege of tearing off your limbs one joint at a time. She turns to her soldiers and lets out a primal howl, her warriors echoing the battle cry in dissonant tones. With rage in their eyes, the warriors ready their weapons, eager for a fight. You know, I usually drop the lore, but I think we would have the adrenaline rushing at this point, considering, you know, we cast a fucking edict. So, I wonder which of you will scream the longest before dying. Nervous glances are exchanged between many of the warriors gathering in the courtyard. Sensing the dip in morale, Death Knell looks back with a scowl. We have the advantage of numbers. Don't be spineless. Enough talk. You will be trampled and forgotten. Only the voices of Narat will remember your name. Well, maybe I should ask them what their last words are. What do you think? Get the standard, buff her into crazy status? Rage. Party deals more damage.
Bleed out, you little shit.
Buffing her weapons. Oh my, look at her go!
You got it.
Let's try that thunderstorm here, buddy. There's so much stuff happening. Oh wait, hold on. Heal.
New dent.
Oh yeah, murder them. That way.
Not a problem, boss.
Hey, take a break, see what we unlocked. Plus 30 defense against bleeding and burning. Alright. Well, that's cool.
Bleed out, you little shit.
Knock him down. Rebuff.
Bleed out, you
Taunt.
little shit.
Protect yourself.
You got it. No.
Do a little charge fist. Reapply berserk.
It'll take more than that to break.
I'm sorry, what were you saying? Muffled laughter comes from under Aranios' great helm. That's right, you filthy peasants. Run for your lives. Tell Narat what you saw here. I don't think we let any of them run. I guess some of them did. The chorus is running in every direction, scattered to the wind, as it were. The few brave enough to stand their ground against your Edict of Storms are dead. The day is ours. Leave the cleanup to me and my brethren. You should take your rightful place perched atop the spire. No better way to savor this victory than with a commanding view of your enemy fleeing across the valley. Man, we just murdered them. Also, were those sages using scrolls to launch orbs of power at us or something? That was kind of cool.
Will do.
Oh. Oh, okay. Shocked and demoralized by your display of power and the ease with which you dispatch their leader, the Scarlet Chorus fighters lose their nerve and scatter in defeat. The survivors carry with them fearful murmurs of the powerful Archon tokshen, a being of enormous might who can cast an edict with the same authority as the Overlord. Confusion sets in across the realm. Amid the whispers and misinformation, one fact remains consistent. The Overlord's power has been challenged. You safely assume that such rumors are making their way back to Kairos. Yeah, probably. The high winds of your edict sweep the air, dashing debris against your spire. Torrential rain falls, hitting hard enough to bruise bare skin. Lightning strikes the ground, endangering anyone out in the open. It isn't long before the storm begins to wane, slowly falling from a gale to a light rainstorm, and after a few days it becomes a simple breeze. Eventually, the skies calm as your edict dissipates, releasing Vendrian's well from its grip. Okay, so we're not quite as powerful. Yet. But you just wait. You gather a small council of your closest allies and plan your next steps from the safety of your spire. No sooner do you get started than Callio, Fatebinder of Tunon, pays a visit bearing an important message. A summons, probably? Is this the time? Is this when we break? I don't know. I keep hearing about this little spire you've been calling your own. Nodding with a smirk, Fatebinder Callio peers over the edge of the tower. Now that you've slaughtered those who would take your lands, I think your claim is as official as it gets. Nice to see you, but how did you get up here? You're here to investigate what just happened? Naturally. She nods with a smile. Tunon expects me to give a full report, but today I come bearing an important message. Not an edict, but commandments from the mouth of the Overlord all the same. No one's entirely sure what to make of you these days, Tokshen. They all say you spoke an Edict of Storms. Not a proclamation of an Edict of Kairos, but your own Edict of Storms. Your own mystical storm. You're no mere Fatebinder. Of that much we can be certain. You've proclaimed and broken the Overlord's edicts perhaps one too many times? If I had known you could do this when I first met you, I'd maybe have tried in earnest to kill you? I hope for the sake of Taratus that the right person has inherited this gift. Well, I don't know what to make of you, Fatebinder. Proclaiming and breaking the Overlord's magic, claiming these awful towers. It should come as no surprise that an edict is within your grasp, but I still find room for surprise. You're powerful in ways that gang bosses and mages aren't. You commanded this place to do your bidding, and unleash something incredible on the world. That isn't the work of a Fatebinder. If anything, it's the work of an Archon. Oh yeah, Kills in Shadow. You remember that person? Beast Woman will follow Alpha from here to ends of Tears lands, and farther still. Will Paw prowl deep into Cold North, hunting armies of Kairos at Alpha's side. Together, Shadow Hunter and Alpha will slaughter whole of Prima's tribe. She shakes her head with a grin. I always knew you'd be a delightful bit of trouble, but I didn't think you had a touch of the Overlord's power in you. Why didn't you tell me? We'll be honest. It's only natural to have doubted yourself. The edicts have always been the magic of Kairos, and Kairos alone. Anyone claiming to be able to cast an edict would be presumed crazy. And yet, a sane man watching what you just did would see the power of the Overlord in your voice. Curious. She taps her chin in thought, looking at you head to toe. Suppose you've no reason to play the fool. I'll say that however it is you came into this power, know that you've drawn the attention of the Overlord, so congratulations, I think? I come bearing orders direct from the Overlord. Callio clears her throat, to her voice becoming somber and severe. Kairos has decreed two things. First, the Overlord has demanded that one and only one Archon is fit to rule the Tiers. To that end, the Archons are to settle through death or dominance who is the one Archon fit to inherit the Tiers. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, but we'll say in a second. Kairos has decreed you are the newest Archon. Fatebender Callio bows with an exaggerated flourish. So the other Archons now have orders to control or destroy you, and the other way around. Her face becomes a beaming smile. See? This is why I try to avoid getting Kairos' attention. While we have gained a lot of power, I don't think we're going to get that in our head, like, I think our character is very cautious. So let's do this one. And to be clear, this is a command from Kairos, but not an edict. Correct. There's no edict backing this order. Such encouragement hardly seems necessary when the task is its own reward. The Overlord has merely rescinded Kairos' peace. The Archons may kill and maim each other without breaking any laws. Now, while I wouldn't challenge Kairos directly, subjugating the other two. Kairos knows, rightly so, that enmities, new and old, will drive the Archons to mutual destruction. The Overlord need only remove the pretense of peace and watch the ensuing violence. Would you have preferred another do-or-die edict? What do they think of this? Well, I guess it doesn't matter what they think of this. This is from Kairos directly. But I am curious. As per usual, Tunon has the emotional range of Pumice, but Blended Mark seemed almost giddy. I think the old Shadow was already putting names on his daggers. I was wondering if Blended Mark would hear this order and promptly stab Tunon. But no, it would seem the Archon of Shadow is happy to serve Tunon. Makes sense. I've never known the old Shadow to crave that kind of power. Oh, shit. So wait, this also includes Tunon? I thought it was just going to be the three of us. But this is also a fight with Tunon, and I guess technically Blended? What? Because I thought Tunon would be, like, above this. Like, he's not going to be leading any... She clears her throat, her voice growing somber. You'll have to deal with him, too. And I fear greatly for how that will turn out. I imagine Tunon is too loyal to bow to you, and Blended Mark too proud to accept you as his better. She nods quietly for a long moment. There is no way this ends well for some of us. So in one moment, we have been thrown out from under Tunon, no longer a part of his court, proclaimed an Archon, and told to basically murder all other Archons or bring them to heel under me. Now, I will still follow Kairos' law, because that's what our character would do. So, if that's what Kairos wants, I mean, people gotta bow, I guess. So, okay. The other Archons will bend to my will, or die. First step is deciding you won't bow to one of the other Archons. Callie offers a smug nod. I wish you the best of luck in your upcoming struggle. Know that when you come for Blended Mark and Tunon, I and the other Fatebinders won't interfere. A question me and the other Binders have been asking. Can you do this again? Nanoval believes in you. Another, who shall remain nameless, takes the more cynical stance that the Overlord has a hand so far up your ass, she can puppet your mouth and you couldn't cast a second edict if you tried. She silenced you up head to toe. Me, I think you have it in you. Or I at least I like the idea of proclaiming an edict of yours someday. I'm certain I have it in me to cast another edict, but I'm not sure I want to play recklessly with this power. Again, cautious. Don't just throw shit around. I'll say that. Lost fear with Ebb, you've gained loyalty with Ebb. Oh, well, great, Ebb. That sounds remarkably wise. Ebb, I'm a wise person, Ebb. Jeez, just because I've killed a few people that maybe haven't reached, like, an age that, like, maybe they, you know, listen, it's all in the past now. I think you can and should use the power to stop your foes, but as you grow in power, your edicts might remain longer. It would be a shame to leave an arcane disaster that haunts us long after the problem is solved. Yes, but to be fair, Ebb, also in the Stone Sea, where the cacophony is, it's already kind of fucked. Like, that's already, that land's gone for a millennia, so, like, Considering the terrible damage you'll inflict if you screw up what you're doing, I can't blame you for being cautious. With a nod, Callio begins to make her way to the exit. When you rule Taratis, look me up. If you're successful, I know I'll be in need of a new Archon to serve. I know I'm mostly sober, but just so we're clear, you did just issue an edict, right? Lantry taps his quill to his tongue, unsure of what next to write. First you cast an edict, then this full-on war of Archons. This whole chapter of the Chronicle is... it's like reading fiction. So Kairos has ordered all the Archons to fight it out until only the strongest remain. I think we can now safely say that the Scarlet Chorus philosophy has been vindicated. True verse, very true. A rumbling mutter stirs from under Barrick's helmet, devoid of any cognate words. Yeah, buddy, I'm gonna have to kill your Archon. Or make him bow. Again. Haha! Because he bowed to Kairos. Now you bow to me. Alpha-birthed own words of power like humans prima called Kairos, is better mystic than Broodmother to kills in shadow, than Stonestalker's 100 blood, than Beastwoman Archon slaughtered by Mark of Shadows. She snorts and grins savagely. Kills in shadow knew Alpha was most powerful human in whole of Tears Land. A curved claw taps the side of her snout. Knows was not wrong. One last thing, hesitating before she leaves, Callio taps the parchment she's been holding to her forehead with a self-deprecating scoff. All this talk of you being the second coming of the Overlord, and I almost forgot my duties. This is a court summons from Blended Mark, Tunon's assassin. I suggest you read it carefully as part of your preparations. Your survival may depend on it. Good luck, Archon. Cacophony is now unlocked. Fatebinder. Archon. The Great General has pulled his troops back to Iron Hearth. She grinds her knuckles into her palm. Soon we make our final push into the Stone Sea and the heart of Scarlet Core's power. The voices of Narada is weak, and the path to Cacophony is clear. She adopts a more cautious tone. The Archon is also aware of what happened at Vendrian's Well. I'm sure he wants to discuss the matter in person. Well, we are an Archon. But there's no reason to put on airs. That's fine. I'll head to Ironheart straight away. I'll stay here and keep the peace in Vendrian's Well. She hesitates considering whether to say more. Finally, she sighs and lets it go. Take care of how you treat with Graven Ash. You're no mere Fatebinder any longer. You'll meet with him as Archon to Archon, and such things are more complicated. Good luck. Thank you, Aranios. Oh, that's done. Wait, what? Oh, now we're on Final Judgment. Okay. Well, we can speak to Graven Ash first. Hey, Alchemist gloves are done. Just in time. We may have a pretty big battle ahead. Those are down here. Damn. Man, a lot is dropped on you in this part of the game. We are now an Archon. Are you trying to piss everyone off, or do you just do this for fun? I'm not judging either way, I'm just curious. Casting an edict on Vendrian's Well is a good way to shine a beacon on yourself, or paint a target. Verse crosses her arms and smiles. I saved your skin, didn't I? Sure did. For now. Like I said, I'm not trying to prod you or suggest you made the wrong call. As someone who likes to stay discreet until she has the opening to strike a killing blow, I find your little public gesture of dominance, well, quaint. Charming, in a dumb way. Are you getting smitten, Verse? I will only ask once. Ooh. Kid, I take it you're aware of the Overlord's latest decree. If not, let me give it to you straight. Now's a bad time to be an Archon in the tiers. Since most likely I'll be the one to cut you down, I thought I'd first explain. It's not my choice. But if it was, I would still choose to kill you. See you soon. I'll say something cordial. My dearest Mark, I must sincerely thank you for the forward warning. Please know that I have, indeed, taken your words to heart, and, as such, return the following in reply. Certainly I will not expect you to follow me without first testing my mettle. If we must slay each other, so be it. I respect your prowess, and will stand my ground if a duel is what you desire, but I would ask that you consider instead pledging your blade to me, rather than aiming it for my throat. Does Cairo's decree insist that we kill each other, or merely that one should best the other? Warm regards. I like this, I don't know, this back and forth of like, hey, you know what? All the best. Tokshen. Listen, if we gotta kill each other, alright. But hey, maybe we should talk a little bit. My sincerest regards. Send it. Send that shit. Okay. What is this? How is this lit up? Hey, we got Alchemist gloves. Okay. Alright, I wanted to give this to, I think, Verse. But I still like that 10 parry. And I like that too. Nah, alright, we'll just keep it then. Alright, maybe I should put on some of these greater potions here. Like, shit's getting real here. What is this even? Okay. Get all those. We'll get these. That. Wait. Oh, right. Yeah. Ash's Finery. We got this a while ago. Well, it's basically the same, but it's weighted. So, okay. Looks really cool. And then Alchemist Gloves. Plus, Into Control Life is pretty cool. You do have Control Life spell, so you know what? I think I'll give that to you. Okay. Finishing the last pin strokes of a note running about his left arm, Lantry looks up at you with a nod.
Not to steal your glorious day in the sun, but I must say, now all my notes on you are suddenly worth 10 times their weight in iron. My journals will melt the linens off the ladies, I tell you.
I'm sure they will.
What's that you say? Buxom, nubile lasses with an interest in old men who know history. You need a definitive tractatus on the trials and tribulations of the Archon of the Tears? Ha! Well, you're in luck.
That's a very specific event.
I think one can safely conclude that you have the Overlord's attention, and that of the Tears. Soon, all of Taratus. You realize, I trust, I hope, that nobody other than Kairos has ever cast an edict until you.
Also safe to assume that Kairos tried to solve me in some fashion.
His decree forcing the Archons to fight each other seems like his opening thrust. Kaleo mentioned the Archon of Ruin was dispatched with his army of Plagueborn. If that's true, the Overlord is certainly not amused.
Now, Lantry refers to Kairos as his, whereas everything else has been her.
I guess that if you and the Archons don't settle this contest quickly, the Archon of Ruin will be just the first headsman of many.
Know anything about the Archon of Ruin?
Only by reputation. Pox helped bring the Northern Empire to its knees a century past, but when that conquest was over, her army was disbanded. The disease-carrying army of the Plagueborn make poor peacekeepers. As you could likely guess, Pox holds mastery over illness, infection, and disease. If Kairos is sending her, it means the Overlord's mercy is exhausted, for such magic won't spare those trying to surrender. Good question. In parts north, it's commonly held that Kairos' Edict of Dust was the first, but it was cast in the year 11. It was just the first edict to ripple across the whole of Taratus. If you lived somewhere that used to have antelope, you probably think that's the first edict of the Overlord. But here, the answer is given to us by the Overlord's own sense of posterity. Year 0 of Kairos' calendar is said to correspond to the day Kairos went from warlord to wearer of many crowns. A victory won when the first Edict of Storms shocked both the Cloud Barons and the realm of Medrev to capitulate.
Is that an animal? I guess we haven't seen one of those. This I am actually kind of curious.
Well, I have a hard time believing that someone would cast an edict and not have it noticed.
But maybe a rival casts an edict, Kairos kills the rival, takes credit for the events.
Well, as of now, I've seen with my own eyes that the Overlord is not unique in this regard. And I suppose you're all the evidence I need to throw suspicion on the record. Now, if you are right, that implies the Overlord has no qualms silencing and murdering those who pose a threat. In your case, at least my written record of you might survive. See? I'm being optimistic.
Yes, you are.
Yes, or it was, at least, until they were all wiped out by the Edict of Dust.
Aw.
Or, that's as best we've pieced it together from the records. From what we've gathered from their skeletons, they were some sort of mute beast man that ran on 4 legs.
Antelope are not like beast women.
She counters, flexing her claws once, twice, 3 times in annoyance.
Antelope have hooves for fleeing. Beast women have claws for killing. Antelope don't eat meat, are spooked easily, are large but helpless, lumber but lack reason, are prey. Silverback tribe hunted antelope extinct.
Damn, well there you have it.
Old Ink Mystic tells many strange, stupid tales. Thinks to know everything.
I suppose I'm more of an expert in living things, like birds, and can't quite confirm or deny what you're saying, but just forget I said anything.
We'll find out soon enough. We should get going.
Indeed. Once again, I find myself wishing the days and nights would slow down just a hair. Never enough hours to journal these dense days. Let us be on our way.
And then Barrack. I can scarcely believe it. You proclaimed an edict. You wielded the power of the Overlord for a moment, perhaps, but it was enough to turn the tide of battle in our favor. That simply doesn't happen. The Overlord's magic is as unknowable as anything on Tyranny, as mysterious and, well, I was about to say as unapproachable as the spires, but you've cleanly dispelled that notion. This can only mean trouble. Kairos doesn't tolerate competition. No, indeed. I wouldn't want to stand in your place when the day of reckoning comes, but standing next to you might prove just as dangerous. Yeah, we'll ask for your counsel. Hold fast to your loyalties in the Overlord's hierarchy. There's always the chance that Kairos will leave you alone if your fealty is true, but I offer no guarantees. That is what I would do, anyway. You must follow your own path.
What can I do for you?
Again, we've already done that. Hold on. Okay, let's just see if it's the same, though.
My Lord Binder, you have something
Hey!
which requires my attention?
I'm an
What can I
Archon
do
now.
for you? The thought has crossed my mind from time to time. During the...
Yeah,
The big
okay.
guy here is as...
Alright, so we're gonna end this here, I think, and then talk to Graven Ash in the next episode, and then go to Tunon. Not sure what's gonna be happening, but it should be exciting. I'll see you all next time.